So you're someone dating to get married. A rarity in modern dating culture, rife with situationships, grifts, and landmines aplenty. Warren Buffett once said, "The biggest decision in your life will be who you choose to marry." We've all had the horror stories of men losing their homes, retirements, and custodies after divorcing. We've also heard of some of the greatest investors making billions after divorcing. So how then does one protect yourself, your mental health, and financial assets from someone that's out to ruin your life? And no, I'm not asking you to have a nihilistic view of the world or be an incel. Because there are still decent people out there, and I do not want you to lose your faith in love. Aside from the obvious answers of getting a prenup or not getting married at all, today I'm going to share with you some red flags as well as warning signs when dealing with different dangerous personality types. This is the preventive measure for you to get away from them as fast as possible without alarming them to the fact that you're cognizant of their habits. When we're talking about a dangerous partner, we're talking about someone who possesses 3 different traits in their personality disorder: Narcissism, Psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. In psychology, we call this the Dark Triad. This is why the research on the Dark Triad is widely used in law, relationships, psychology, and business. Here's an overview of what we know. Narcissism. The first part of this personality disorder is narcissistic personality, which is an addiction to feeling special. The narcissist displays grandiosity, entitlement, and superiority, and wants nothing more than admiration. Once he or she gets what they want, the narcissist is rarely interested in other people. The second part of this personality disorder is called psychopathy, which is technically called antisocial personality disorder, as is referred to by many as sociopathy or psychopathy. What this means is that they do not have a functioning conscience. These are people who truly do not experience feelings of empathy, compassion for others, shame, guilt, regret, or remorse. So these are people who do not have any internal moral compass as normal people. They also show little to no fear, act impulsively, and enjoy mental thrills. The third part of the personality disorder is called Machiavellianism, and this is the part of the personality disorder that is extremely manipulative, cunning, and sadistic, which means these people can gain great satisfaction and gratification from the suffering and destruction of other people, especially if they feel you have crossed them or disrespected them in any way. Machiavellians are unprincipled, cold, and have a cynical view of other human beings. They like money, power, and winning, and they use manipulation to get what they want. Manipulation doesn't work, they steal or betray. Those high on the spectrum believe it is better to be feared than being liked, and offend others as a strategy to control them. In general, men record higher levels of Machiavellianism, with women slightly higher on the psychopathic scale, and narcissist presents itself in both genders. In combination, however, they present the most danger and is the most terrifying. So now let's talk about some of the red flags if you have one of these extremely dangerous partners involved in your life. As men, one of the first things you will see is that these women are extremely competitive. These women have a burning desire to be the best at everything they can be judged in life. So it could be that she wants to be viewed as the most beautiful or popular woman compared to her friends, either chasing fame or attention. It could also be that she wants to be viewed as the most intellectual or to be viewed as the wealthiest in her community. Essentially, anything that she or society values as important, she will want to be viewed as the winner of that particular thing. In my experience, she could also fake all these things to try and increase her perceived value. As someone with no conscience, it's also not uncommon for her to lie or start a nasty smear campaign where she attempts to just absolutely destroy anyone she views as a threat. In this pursuit and facade she's trying to portray. Finally, these dangerous women are consumed and obsessed with their appearance. They are completely superficial and they love to have very lavish material things. And all of this is accompanied with no substance. They have no true identity and their priorities will not be focused on things that most people truly value, like their relationships, their family, or the well-being of their children. These women aren't concerned about these things in the least, unless of course they see some inherent value in it for themselves, where they make assets or fake connections to elevate their popularity, social status, or bank account. They seem as though they are completely in love with themselves, but at the root of their inflated egos, there are often deeply held feelings of inferiority, and to protect their constructed self, they can never admit to being wrong, which is why they lie or blame others. Another thing to note is that they are likely to be high maintenance, acquiring material things so as to elevate their perceived value in society, in order to manipulate more men. They would also be typically flashy and dress more provocatively, with the same objective to use their sexual appeal to get what they want. This can also present itself in their behavior, acting more debaucherous, flirtatious, lying and cheating, and being absolute opportunists. Another very common trait of this dangerous female narcissist is that she will have a complete and utter disregard for the boundaries of others, including her intimate relationships. They do so by triangulating and pitting people against each other. Many times she'll keep her old flames and boyfriends around to maintain inappropriate closeness with her exes. Usually this is to try and triangulate her current partner against an old flame. Again, this woman will be incredibly promiscuous and inappropriately flirtatious with other people who are not her intimate partner. These women need multiple sources of narcissistic supply, be it through dopamine hits on social media or just general attention from guys. It's also not uncommon for this woman to be flirtatious with her girlfriend's partner or even married family members in her own family. She enjoys seeing how far she can push the envelope and has no respect or regard for social boundaries of other people. So remember that this is a woman without a conscience, and nothing and no one is off limits to her. The rules of life do not apply to someone like her, and she will do anything and everything to keep up this pretense. This could be in the form of leeching or scamming men out of their money, lying or falsifying an identity to get credit cards, loan, or social acceptance. She may vandalize other people's property, spread rumors, or try to make someone lose their job if she ever feels betrayed or threatened. It's also common for her to make up absolute lies suggesting that her partner could be a violent physical or sexual abuser, to the extent of creating self-inflicted bruises on herself, then contacting authorities to have her partner arrested or file for a restraining order against violence and sexual abuse. The worst stories are those when children are involved, when protective services have to remove a partner or parent based on the lies of a sociopathic woman. At this point, as sad as it sounds, it's unfortunately too late, as laws are still backdated and, in my opinion, don't punish people who make these false statements. However, if you're not at the extreme stage, one thing you can do is this thing in psychology we call the grey rock method, to slowly become boring just like a rock, withholding their narcissistic supply so that she eventually loses interest and finds that from others. And the goal would ultimately be to establish no contact altogether. In doing so, you are still being respectful while not letting the abuser know that you are getting onto her. Unfortunately, there is no complete winning. There will be legal fees, emotional damage, and opportunity costs. However, one thing I've always tried to be positive on is that as long as you rid your life of toxicity and these kind of individuals, you then have a chance at a brighter future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on my other social media platforms, so the links are in the description below, and thanks for watching everyone. Bye.